This podcast is brought to you by the Texas Hill Country River region in Uvalde County. What's super unique about this area is that the Frio, Nueces, and Sabinal rivers are all located in the same county. It's like the hill country that you know and love, but really rural, so you're surrounded by wildlife. And life just kind of slows down out here, so you can enjoy the simple pleasures like campfires and fishing and just enjoying the company of the people that you love.
Go to visituvalde.com for more info. Buenos dias, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the In Between Podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Leah.
Just the two of us today.
Yeah.
And it's 2023, our first episode of the year.
Mm-hmm. First episode of our second season. We made it through season 1. We stuck with it. We did it. So now we're here in season 2.
Gotta get it going. So I know you have a list of things you want to talk about. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, so I think I, like most people around the world, love the beginning of a new year because it's a chance to really like focus and set some goals and set some intentions and kind of that reset for the year to come. I always really look forward to that with my calendar and all my planning and my goal setting. And so I think we could talk about that, kind of our processes, and then the way you and I have done some strategic planning that we actually just did yesterday. So yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right. Sounds good to me.
So one of the things I like to do is to set my intention for the year with a word and kind of have like a word that's my word of the year. And I know a lot of people do that rather than, specific resolutions, like I'm going to lose 15 pounds and things like that. I set kind of an overall word that kind of summarizes the year that I want to have and that I want to focus on. And this year, my word is seek. So I want to seek opportunities and knowledge and experiences and stronger relationships and just seek all of the things. I think, last year being pregnant, I was a lot more like, I don't know what the word is, like like introverted. I guess that's not really the right word, but I wasn't really like doing and accomplishing and seeking. And I was just kind of like
taking care of a baby.
Yeah. Like nurturing myself and growing her. And it was just a very different season. So now this year, I'm like, I want to seek all the things. And that's kind of where I'm at. And so what I like to do is I take that word and then I like to break it down into categories. So like personal, and, business / financial, relational, spiritual. And so I take each of those categories and then I kind of see like, what can I do to have, that word of intention in those areas? So, what does seek mean in my spiritual life? Well, seeking God, seeking, prayer, seeking, whatever, relationally, or spiritually. And then in my personal life, what does seeking mean personally? Well, that could mean taking classes and learning, new things and learning new hobbies. It can also mean reading more books. I'm seeking knowledge. So I just kind of break down each of those things, my relationships. So how do I seek my partner? How do I seek you? How do I could read books. We could go on dates. Like, how do I strengthen that relationship based on my word of intention for the year? So that's kind of my process for
beginning of the year.
Yeah. So
getting
that's
the year
what
started.
Yeah.
And where did you pick this up from?
Yeah. Well, that 4-year cycle, for me, it very much was like using the language of farming. So grow, reap, ripen, all that. This year it's not, it's different. But for, the reap being the harvest, it was, we built ourselves a house, we had a baby, I didn't do as much on the property or in the business. It was all just about harvesting. Personally, I was like, I'm going to do facials every day and massages and just, reap the benefits of all of the hard work that I've put in. And this year, so I had my year of reaping the fruit. This year I'm seeking again to figure out what's next. So yeah, that's my process, but I don't know where I heard it. Somebody way smarter than me, way wiser than me did it. And I decided that was a great thing to do.
Well, I think it works.
Yeah.
I think it works for you. And
yeah.
I know you've been doing that past few years. So yeah, I don't have a process. It's like, okay, let's go. And I'm like in every direction, every year, beginning of the year, because it's a good opportunity I think for everyone, it's a good opportunity to gain some momentum to want to do the things that you either know you need to do or you would like to do, or a little bit of both. And a lot of people use the beginning of the year for whatever reason, it's like a new start. Like, okay, whatever happened before this date doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that I procrastinated all last year. I'm not going to do it now because it's a new year. Now. And that's just how I roll, I guess. Yeah. But this year we did together. We did. Yeah.
Because I think we both are undiagnosed ADHD. So I have all these systems in place that help to keep me focused. Otherwise I'm all over the place and I get nothing accomplished. I either am doing 1,000 things that don't matter, or I'm procrastinating and doing nothing at all. Yeah, and that's kind of like classic ADHD. And you're either hyper fixated on the things that don't matter, or you're in complete overwhelm because it's just too overwhelming to start. And so I have to set these intentions and, organize all of, my year for myself. Otherwise I'm lost. And so that it's just a strategy that works for me. One of the things before we move on that I'm really excited about is the 1,000 hours outside project. So that's something that I'm trying to do. It's an Instagram account, it's a movement, but basically it's a challenge to families, to people to spend 1,000 hours of the year outside. And that's a lot. That's like almost, 3.5 hours a day outside. And the thought behind it is that the outside is good for you. You need the sunshine, you need nature, you need to be outside. And we spend so much time inside, and we're not spending enough time outside as human beings, as families, with children, especially with kids. Kids need to play outside. And so I'm doing that as part of my intention, word of the year is I'm seeking nature, and I'm seeking experiences outside. And one of the things that the 1,000 Hours Outside project does is you can print like a little coloring sheet, and they have a bunch of different ones. And for each hour that you spend outside, you color one of the little boxes or one of the little designs, and it kind of is to help you track how much time you've spent. And there's just something that feels really, really good about like checking off
visual.
Yeah. And like, checking something off. And so to color in that little box, it's like, yes, I did that 3 hours yesterday, 1 hour today. It feels good. It makes you feel like you're
making progress.
Yeah.
Getting things done.
Yeah. So I love that project. And I so far have, 15 hours outside. I think I definitely need a lot more, but that's still something. So progress.
No, 15 or 50?
15, not 50. Definitely
I feel like
not
it's
50
more.
That I've done. No, I don't think so. 15. I don't know. I don't know how much I have. Maybe I have 20. I don't know.
Well, we're going to get some hours in today.
Right here. I can even show the camera. So however much, 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 is what I have. But this is the one I printed, but they have a whole bunch of different designs. I liked just the simplicity of the boxes, but they have ones that are like, one looks like the trunk of a tree, and the rings of the tree are what you color in. But that's my little log.
And it says on there, at the bottom of the paper, it says 1,000 hours outside.com.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where you can go to print it.
Yeah, you can go, and they have a ton of other resources. They have a bunch of books that you can read, and they have books for kids that you can read and do like a reading challenge. They have a ton of resources, and it's all free, I'm pretty sure. So. One
benefit kind of adopting this model, if you have a baby, is we were talking about this the other days. If your baby's getting a little fussy and you're inside, and maybe just a simple change of scenery will get them to settle down, like taking them outside on the porch or on the lawn or to the park, or just get outside, and that also helps, and it has helped with us and Luna.
Everybody I know who has children has told me that, like, if all else fails, just take them outside. Taking them outside for whatever reason, they'll be chill. And I forget that a lot of times. I forget that's a tool that we have in our toolbox, that if she's fussy, if she's upset and she's just tired of whatever it is that we're doing, take her outside. I forget that one a lot. So this year I'm trying to remember it. Let's take her outside. Go outside. Yeah.
And I guess that would apply for most kids. I mean, I would think too. I mean, not just babies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Who doesn't like being outside? I mean, I guess there are people who don't like to be outside, but
like when it's too hot or too cold, that can be a little like me, take the fun out of it. But yeah, I mean, everybody I know who has kids has told me, just take them outside. Take them outside.
Well, it works. Gotta get those hours now. You have a lot of little blocks to color in.
I have a long way to go,
but just one bite at a time.
Yeah. Well, one thing that's been helping me to log my hours outside is painting the wall, because it's taking me so long to paint that wall. It's how many feet is it long?
It's I think 382 or 86 feet.
300, almost 400
feet
of painting, and that's taking me forever. And it's good though. I don't mind it because I'm outside. I'm getting some sunshine, getting some vitamin D,
getting some podcast in,
getting some podcast.
Don't you listen to podcasts?
Oh yeah. I thought you meant recording. I'm not recording podcasts.
No.
Yeah, I've been listening to podcasts, and
because before we would that first year we were outside a lot.
Yeah.
And we consumed a lot of podcasts.
And a lot of books too. Our first year, I don't know how we did it because we were doing so much. And I read 60 books that first year. And then last year I read 10, maybe. I don't know how many I read. Not a lot. How did I have time? I guess we didn't watch TV. We didn't watch Netflix. And now we watch a lot of Netflix at night.
Yeah, we have a used TV that we took out of storage from
my dad.
That was probably an Amazon deal. I'm sure it was one of your dad's Amazon deals that he bought this TV and he gifted it to us, or just left.
It's like a little TV. We just have Netflix,
and we turn it on, and it just like blurs out. Then you got to just kind of put it on mute, turn it off, turn it back on. You know what we're talking about, Luna? Yeah. But yeah, we have to control that.
Yeah. And part of my seeking knowledge is consuming more books and podcasts, because I used to listen to podcasts all the time, and I read so much more than what I do now. And so that's part of my seeking is knowledge.
Well, that was because you were sowing the seed of knowledge that first year.
I was. And then I wasn't anymore. And I think two things happened when I really started to not read as much and not really do anything as much. I wasn't focusing on myself spiritually or reading. It was when I joined TikTok and then COVID hit. So it was TikTok and COVID. And I think for whatever reason, those two things together, probably mainly TikTok, I just stopped reading. Consuming way too much TikTok. So I'm trying to slow down on social media a little bit and focus a little bit more on consuming information and knowledge, and yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the strategic planning process that we just did, or did you have anything you wanted to add to goal setting and beginning of the year processes?
No. Yeah, we can talk about that.
What we did? Okay.
Talk about what we did the other day.
Because that was our first time to do this.
Yeah, which I thought it was very beneficial.
Yeah, me too.
And it's a process. But if you just stick with it from start to end. And
it took us how many hours? Were we just talking?
I don't think it was.
It wasn't that long.
I don't think it was that long. So it might have been an hour.
What we did, it felt like
hour longer. To hour and 30 minutes, maybe tops.
But what we did is we started off with a brain dump of just any idea or project that you or I had, like that would cost us money. Anything and everything. So things from as crazy as, buying a house. I guess it's not that crazy, but like that's a more expensive thing, all the way down to finishing painting the wall. So things that would cost a lot of money, all the way down to things that would cost a little bit of money, and things that would require more work out of us, and then things that would require a little work out of us. And we did it unfiltered. So it wasn't like, well, could we do this or not? We started off just any and everything that we possibly could want to do. And we just made a huge list of things. For example, some of the things were, what did we say?
Paint the wall, finish painting the wall.
Finish painting the wall, build a new house, painting the wall inside, getting a hot tub, renting out our house. Like we just made a list of all these things. And we didn't judge each other's answers. We didn't filter each other's answers. We just both were saying, I want to do this. I want to do that. I could do this. We could do that. And we just made that list. And then the next thing that we did was we went through each list and we said, is this something we can actually financially do this year? Is this something we can actually do? And along with that question, we asked ourselves, is this something we want to do? So can we do this? And do we want to do this?
Yeah.
And we filtered through all those answers with, can we actually do this realistically? And do we want to do this?
There's a little diagram thing that we can probably map this out to make it even easier. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, let me give you an example. I'll just draw it real quick. Where's my book? Oh, so like if this was all the ideas were in this box, okay. Then from out of this box they go into either this box or this box, and then I don't know. You can label it however you want to label it. Let's say this one was more money intense. This one was more labor intense. And
we're not there yet. We didn't get to that part.
Well, you said money and labor, but I'm just doing this to show you that I'm going off on a tangent.
Yeah, I think you're making it more confusing. Maybe you can draw a diagram and then we can post it, like a link to it or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
way more confusing.
So here, I'm just trying to draw this out to because there's a name for it, and I don't.
A flow chart?
That's what it is.
All right. So while you're drawing that, I'm going to explain what the next step was. Okay. So we went through. Do you want to show your diagram? You show it.
Yeah. So my chicken scratch. So this is the flow chart that we can. I don't know if you can even see it. So the ideas start at the beginning, the top, and then from there you can. It's a flow chart. I couldn't think of the name, but I had to draw all this out but basically create a flow chart, and then filter out the ideas as you talk them out the way we're about to talk about.
Yeah. So what we did was we started with all the ideas unfiltered, all the things that we could do that we want to do. And then we asked ourselves, do we want to do this? And can we afford to do this? And we just yes or no. And then after we went through all the ones and said yes or no, we want to do this, we can do this, or no, we don't want to do it. Then I broke it down into 3 categories. And those 3 categories were, 1, the things that will directly create more income for us, the things that are going to bring us more income. And number 2 was things that would maybe not necessarily bring us more income, but that might increase our occupancy, that might help people to stay with us more, that might make our place a little bit more enticing for people to stay with us. So that would create more occupancy. And then 3rd category were things that are not going to bring us in any income and that are not going to increase occupancy, that are just things that will help the guest experience. So for example, painting the wall, right? That's not something that is going to make us money. I don't think somebody's going to book with us because the wall is painted with a mural, but it's something that's kind of cool and it would make our place a little unique and people might like it. So those were our 3 categories. So then we put everything into one of those categories.
And so to put it simple, which is
okay.
So you already know every time I try to simplify things, it just makes it even more complicated.
At least for me, but maybe for other people,
the 3 categories you have is, does this idea make us money? Mm-hmm. Will it make us money once we do it? The second category has a potential to make us money, but it's not going to make us money. That's not the intent. For example, the one that will make us money is if we built an actual rental on the property.
Yes.
Versus the one that will potentially make us money is if we got a hot tub. But that's not necessarily going to directly make us money. The third one is it's just going to increase the guest experience.
Yeah.
Make us money, has the potential to make us money, and increase the guest experience.
Yes.
Okay.
So then we put everything into those categories. And we started with the category of things that are going to directly make us money. Then what we did from there is we said, okay, so I'll use the example of building a new tiny house from the ground up. We budgeted out that entire process to see how much we think it would cost us to build that from the ground up, to furnish it, get it ready, get it listed, and get it rented out. How much it would cost us. And then we did an estimate of how much would we make from that? And so we did that with all of those things in that category of how much it's going to cost us to do it and what's the potential ROI, right? So we did that for that category. And then we started seeing, because we could budget things out. So we did that category. Then we did the category of the things that will not make us back any money. And we went through that same process of how much we think it's going to cost to do each thing, each idea. And then now we were able to look at all of these ideas that we had to see how much all of them would cost us. And then we could filter through and we could say, well, this one's more important. So let's do this one. It's going to cost us this much. This one's going to cost us this much. And doing that, I feel like we saw some of our ideas, just how expensive they would actually be. And how the return wouldn't be exactly what we thought it was going to be. Like, it's a great idea, but it's not something we can do right now.
It's not something we want to do right now.
Or want to do right now.
Yeah.
So,
we could do it. That was, like you mentioned earlier, that was a part of the questions we had to ask about the idea. Mm-hmm. Could we do it? Mm-hmm. And do we want to do it?
Yeah.
Or does it make sense to do it?
And a lot of them, it was, does it make sense to do it right now? Because there was a couple things on those lists that we're absolutely going to do in the future.
Some of them were hard to say no.
I know. Alpacas.
Yeah.
So we started off with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. we started off with about 30 ideas that we wrote down, 30 projects, ideas. And in the end, we are doing 8 of them.
8 of them. And of those 8, how many of them directly will bring us money in?
Only 1 of them. Because the things that are going to directly bring us in money are so expensive to do.
Yeah.
So.
And we're realizing we are trying to be more strategic with where we put our dollars.
Yeah.
And we want to maximize the return for what we put in.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up with just 1.
Yeah.
So how many are in the second category? They have a potential to increase,
none.
but none. Mm-mm. And then, so the rest are in the experience.
Not going to make us any money, but are going to be a good experience.
However, we did set a cap. Mm-hmm. Like we said, X dollar amount is what we're going to dedicate to this, and we're not going over it.
Yeah. And that's something we've never done before.
That's another thing that we implemented.
Most business owners probably do that. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. We don't.
No, we always fly by the seat of our pants.
Oh, that's fun. Let's do that. Oh, Brett Rimkus has some goats. Cool. Let's get the goat. Like, there's no planning. It's just we do what we want. That's fun. But then that doesn't always necessarily make for the best business decision.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not, how would you say, wise or yeah.
But hey, it's been 5 years and we're still in business. So.
Yeah, we've done good. Not entirely shooting from the hip, but we don't like plan things out the way we did with this deal that we did the other day. So
so I'm excited about this process. I think it has really helped us to focus, and it was really good to see all of our ideas out in front of us and more or less what we think they would cost, and to look at all of that and to kind of pick and choose what makes the most sense and what we can actually do. That was a really good process for me. I think for you too. It was good.
And I'm excited about the things that we do have on the list. So.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of them? We could both pick one. No, we're not going to talk about it.
No, I just want people to find out when they get here. I want it to be a surprise.
Surprises. Well then, okay, you flipped my little book. I got to find my page again.
Just look for the map. My flow chart.
So that was our process that we did for that. We can talk a little bit before we close out about some of the things that are next for us for the podcast. This weekend, I am so pumped. We have a group of, I don't even know how many are coming, like 15 Western. It's gone up. Everybody's bringing more people. Like, I hope we have enough houses. I'm like, I hope people are cool sleeping, in the living room. But we have a group of Western fashion girlies. So influencers, models, photographers, and boutique owners that are all coming to stay with us this weekend. We're going to do a big collaboration. So it's a big content creating weekend. And the mood boards for these photo shoots, I am so excited. Should I talk about it or not? Should it be a surprise when the pictures come out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm super pumped because these girls are really creative and they have a lot of ideas, and the clothes that they're bringing are just so fun, and they're going to look so fun on our property. And I'm just really excited to work with them and just get a ton of content for all of us and take all the pictures, all the videos. And I thrive on these type of collaborations with people coming to stay with us, and we work with them and they work with us, and just creative collaborations like this are so fun. And I want to do more, but so I'm super excited about that.
And that was one of the things, just like all the previous collaborations that we've had, you put the call out there on TikTok.
Yeah.
And people reached out, and
so
that's how it happened.
This one specifically, I had posted come stay with us. Anybody, creative people, artists, whoever, like, let's do fun stuff together. And this girl, Spencer, she responded, and she's a Western content creator. And she said, what if we did some photo shoots and stuff? And then I said, well, what if you invited some other girls to come and we did a big collaboration weekend? And she jumped on that. And then Shelby, a girl who we know, reached out and said the same thing. And I said, well, let me put you in touch with Spencer, and then the two of y'all can kind of organize this and plan this out, and we'll put everybody up for free, and we'll just have this really cool weekend. So they both started inviting people that they knew, photographers that they've worked with, boutiques that they've worked with, other content creators that they've worked with. And it just kind of grew from there. So that's where we're at, and I'm super pumped. And so we're going to be interviewing several of them for the podcast, and that'll be this weekend. So we'll have a lot of new podcast episodes with the photographer and some of the models. And
I just had a crazy idea, but I'll tell you off camera.
What? You can't do that.
Why?
I don't know. That seems unfair.
Well, if anyone wants to know, they can comment, or I'll mention it in the next video.
We'll DM you.
I'll answer in the comments what it is.
Oh, okay. So yes, I'm pumped about that this weekend. And then I'm also excited to release the episodes that we recorded for this season. Yeah. We recorded them at the end of the year. Our season was already wrapping up. And I think we have a few a couple that I'm really excited about. I think they both were really cool. So I'm really excited for them.
I'd like to get them back on again.
Yeah. So I'm going to say it because we have too many. So one of the people that we interviewed is a friend of mine from grad school named Henry Sanchez, and he's an artist, and we interviewed him and his partner, and they just, I loved that conversation because I don't really get to talk about art on that level anymore. Like I did, when you're not in school anymore, you don't, and if you're not a teacher or something, if you're not in that environment, you don't get to have those kinds of conversations. So
if you're not an electrician anymore, you can't.
You don't have, how are you going to talk to me about electrical work?
Yeah.
All I'm going to hear is
look at that pipe bend right there. Yeah. That's a beautiful pipe bend. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So that conversation I feel like is a little bit different from other conversations we've had, and it just was really fun to talk with them about art and what they're doing and what they're working on and what we, see as art and how we see art. And I think it was just a fun conversation. So I'm really excited for that one.
I wonder how their art show went.
I know.
Because they were passing through here.
To Joshua Tree, yeah. I think we'll have them back for sure. I want to have them back as long as they'll come back and stay with us. So.
Yeah, that was fun. And he brought you a piece of art.
Yeah.
Can you show it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could get it because it's right behind me. Hold on. And then we'll close.
Yeah. Look at that piece of switch right there. I wired up. Look how straight and level it is. Huh? You don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how level the light switch is.
Oh, my goodness. We could have another electrician on the podcast, and then y'all can talk and I can just listen. Okay,
you said it. I didn't. You get a group of electricians together. When there's two, it's a party. When there's two or more.
So I need to have it framed, but I could show it and explain it, or I could just show it and then the podcast with Henry would explain it and make more sense. But that is the piece that he gave me. And should I explain it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is it's an egret, which the egret is kind of a symbol, a character all throughout Henry's work. And, but he drew it on top of his father's letterhead. And his father was a lawyer in Houston. I'm going to butcher it. But anyway, it's kind of a merging of like these two, distinct worlds of his coming together. And he does a lot of work with nature and like bioscience art, where he has like or microscopes, and you're taking pictures of things that you're looking under the microscope and making art out of it. And then he also has work that he does in his father's law office, that's kind of socially justice-based work. So this was kind of a combination of those two worlds coming together, in my opinion. That's how I describe it. Yeah. But anyway, the conversation with Henry.
Obviously, Henry will explain it better.
Yeah, better. But anyway, it was just really nice too to have, somebody that I went to grad school with here to stay with us and to talk to them. And because that feels like a whole nother life ago. So I'm excited to release those episodes. And that is it from me.
Yeah. So we did it. That's a wrap, folks. We thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. We kind of waited a little bit. I guess we were probably about a week later than when we wanted to release this episode. But nevertheless,
here we are. Doing the thing,
moving forward. And we got a game plan. So thanks again for tuning in. And we will see y'all next time. Hasta luego.
Bye.